It's the new year, a time of resolutions and change and really washing away what happened to...
New year, new me.
What happened to your head, man?
Nothing's different.
Nick cut his hair. That's what's different.
Nothing's different.
The calendar flip. That's the only difference. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
Allegedly. We are the Brothers Smurf, and it's time for the best of Board Game Geek in the new year.
The new year, indeed.
Because, Nick, there's new games, new hotness, new awesomeness, same old geek, same old video. So we're going to be talking about the hottest games, a bit of Board Game Geek news, a couple things that we really enjoyed from Board Game Geek. Let's just get right into it, man.
Yeah, let's get into the news. All right, we got a little bit of news, and that is, if you didn't know, Board Game Geek has a podcast now, and it is hosted by our very, very good friend, Candace. I've actually been on the podcast. Mike will be on it soon here in the new year. It's a really, really fun podcast where they talk about the new, fresh games that they have played. These aren't necessarily the new games, but just games that they've played recently. And then you'll usually have some kind of topic or some kind of game that you're going to discuss in length. Candace and I talked about Terracotta Army because we had both played it recently. We both really liked the game. It's a really, really great podcast. It's super fun to listen to, super fun to be on. And Candace is getting some really, really great guests. So make sure to check out the Board Game Geek podcast if you haven't already. You can find it everywhere, Spotify, Apple Music, all that different kind of stuff. Anywhere you get podcasts, it's going to be there for you. Check it out because Candace rocks. So that's a little bit of Board Game Geek news, but Mike, let's get into the hottest games of the month. Let's do it. Alrighty, so we're going to go through the hottest games of the month. Now, this was December where a lot of holidays are happening, so there's not a lot of brand new stuff.
It's a quiet month for board games. There's not a lot of stuff getting released. Everyone hopefully has released their games already.
Well, it's not a quiet month for playing board games.
Oh, no.
When we get to how many board games got played, a lot more got played, but it's not a big release month.
Not a big release or announcement month, so that's what really kind of changes up the hotness. But a lot of people have gotten games, which are the 10 games people are talking about right now. Let's talk about them right now.
Number 10 is Everdell. A lot of people have been getting their Everdell complete deluxe
Super
crazy editions, which is like this giant coffin box. So that's a lot of people have been playing Everdell and all its various expansions and stuff like that. Woo. That deluxe box is humongous.
It's amazing. There's always just trays. Everything's all organized.
It's wild.
The box itself is a feat.
It is. You can sleep in it. It's pretty wild. Everdell is a worker placement tableau building game where you are getting different critters and constructions, and you are putting them into your city, trying to build out a city in the forest of Everdell and stuff like that. Really cute anthropomorphized animal. Been around for a while. Very popular again. They just came out with My Little Everdell, which we covered for BGG.
We did indeed.
They released at PAX. So that's kind of like a more kid-friendly version because the original one's really violent, and so so no, it's just the rules are simpler for kids and stuff like that. But Everdell's it's sold like gangbusters. It's one of the most popular games in the last 10 years, really.
Yeah, it's done very well for itself, and so it's still around the hotness at number 10.
All right, let's get number 9.
Number 9 is a game that we really love. Again, it incorporates animals and stuff. This is Cascadia. It's kind of a tile-laying game with different animal tokens. You're going to take a paired set. You're going to place out those hexagonal tiles, and you're building out different landscapes and stuff. And then the token you get, the animal token, has to go onto any tile that you have that shows that animal. So a salmon on salmon and things like that. And the animals want to be grouped together or put apart. They basically want to be placed in a certain configuration.
Depending on what scoring card you're playing with,
Yeah, so it's a really simple rules overhead because you're just going to draft a paired set of tile and token, place down your tile, place down your token. The rules are kind of for how each animal scores are fairly straightforward. And ideally you put large amounts of the same landscape together, like mountains or kind of your marshlands and things. So it's just kind of really beautiful and appealing. And I imagine this is one that a lot of people have gotten this holiday season.
And have been playing because it's easy. You can play it with pretty much anybody.
It's great for the
definitely
family.
A gateway level game, such simple rules. And so, this is the kind of game that gets played a lot around this time. You're indoors, hanging out with family and stuff like that, play some Cascadia. It's great. It's Spiel des Jahres winner for a reason. It's outstanding. It's number 9. Let's get number 8.
Number 8 is Flamecraft.
People love this game.
People love this game because
I still haven't played it. Mike's played it.
It's the most adorable dragons ever.
It's very cute.
It's a world that we all want to live in where they're just like these dragons are helping you in your shops and stuff. And
one of the
bread.
dragons is named Mulch. And I want that dragon.
The names are ridiculously adorable.
Very cute. Yeah.
This is a very appealing game. The production is just
very good.
All world. Really beautiful art.
Very light game.
Very light, because you're kind of going with your little dragon meeple, your little dragon master. You're going from shop to shop, and you're collecting resources. There's bread and iron and various types of things. And then you're ultimately going to use those resources to enchant shops, which makes them even more valuable, meaning they produce even more resources and things like that. And then you're making use of various dragons via cards that are at these locations. And the red dragon will allow you to draw a card and stuff like that. You can get fancy dragons, which give you endgame scoring. But it's all ultimately very light, very high appeal, because the rules aren't super tough. It's just beautiful. So like, this is a game that's really kind of easily digestible, and there's a nice ramp up because as the buildings kind of get more and more powered up, you get more and more resources. There's a nice kind of ramp up to it as well, but it's very just kind of smooth.
Yeah, smooth, light, pretty. It's great. People love it. I mean, it's been on the hotness list for months and months now. It's been people loving some Flamecraft. It's number 8. Let's get number 7. Number 7 is definitely on the hotness, but I swear, on like Instagram and like social media, everyone is playing Endless Winter Paleoamericans. Everyone, because this game is hitting people's hands the last month or two.
People getting in all the different modules.
And people really like it. This is kind of in that same deck building, worker placement, kind of like Dune, Imperium, and Lost Ruins of Arnok. Again, they don't all play that similarly, but they're just in that same kind of
deck building, worker placement games.
That mix of mechanics there. And it's really cool. It's got great Miko art, and you're kind of like in this kind of like Paleoamerican kind of caveman time.
Coming out of the Ice Age, everything's so frozen over kind of
Indeed, and
you're
putting your worker out, your main worker, to like one of the actions, and then you can spend your cards. Your cards are essentially gonna have a certain amount of labor on them because your cards are villagers that you have.
Yeah,
and you're saying it's like, hey, this person's going over here to do this, they're spending their labor, and certain of your cards are gonna be good at certain things. Some are like very good at hunting, so they get like an extra labor when they go there because they're like, hey, I'm a hunter, I'm good at this. You want me to come over here and do this. And you're getting more kind of these elder cards and other cards that help you with labor and stuff. There's a bit of worker placement, not worker placement, there's a bit of area control to it as
kind of
well.
Like little tents and huts you can build out on the main
Exactly.
board.
You're trying to have like more influence out here than others, a little bit of deck building. Very cool game. It's got a whole bunch of modules to it. We've played kind of the main base game, and that's pretty much it right now.
There's a ton to explore. We're actually borrowing a friend's copy, so there's a whole lot in that box we have not even touched.
No, yeah, it's really, really fun though. I like it a lot. It's cool.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. So it's got great table presence. That's why it's been in the hotness. People are getting their hands. It's number 7, Endless Winter Paleoamericans.
Let's get number 6.
Number 6 is Wingspan. Been around. People love birds.
Playing Wingspan.
And you know what? They've supported this game well. It's about bird watching and stuff. They had the Wingspan Asia as the most recent expansion that came out. It's a standalone expansion. You can play it as a 1 or 2 player game just with the contents in that box, or of course you can incorporate it into all of your other Wingspan materials and play up to 6 and 7 player games now. So I think Wingspan constantly, it's just really available. Like people have the game. There's a digital version. You can play it kind of anywhere and everywhere.
And I think people bring it out during family events like this, because as we go to the most played games of the month part of this segment, you'll see Wingspan got played a lot this month. I mean, people pulled it out during probably the holidays, being home, whatever, hanging out with family, and just people love Wingspan. They do. They absolutely adore it. It's sold like crazy. They keep supporting it. You've played Asia, really liked it. I haven't quite played it yet, but really excited to play it, the kind of 1 to 2 player version of it. Yeah, it's Wingspan. It's one of the most popular games in a long time. It's been incredibly well supported.
Give its roses. It deserves them.
Indeed. That's number 6, Wingspan. Let's get to number 5.
Number 5 is all about Dune. It's Dune Imperium.
Indeed. We kind of talked about it earlier. We were talking about Endless Winter.
This one has been kicking around on the hotness and just in and out of the top 10 since it came out.
Yeah.
It's been really,
to be fair, I think when I
really strong.
was making this list, number 11 right now is Lost Ruins of Arnok. So like Lost Ruins of Arnok and Dune Imperium.
Those are the two that got compared because they came out at a similar
time.
time. It's just one set in the world of Dune, and you're fighting for power over Arrakis and stuff, and you are different. You have kind of different player powers and stuff. That'll be different characters from the books, and then the art and stuff is based on the newest film.
Yes.
From Dune. And it does that great thing of blending worker placement and deck building, and then the cards you play and stuff will kind of dictate where you can place your worker. You can work on building alliances with the Fremen and the various factions in this world. And the thing I really enjoy about this game is that you are sort of strategically holding cards back, because when you kind of end your round, you get to play out all these cards, and they have a certain specific ability on the bottom, and sometimes like that's the juiciest thing. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna forego using this card for its kind of up top ability and allow me to place a worker out because I really wanna do this over here. And I just think that creates a lot of intrigue of like, what do I play, what don't I play, and how do I strategically manage those two things.
Yeah.
There's obviously been a couple expansions for this game, so again, very well supported.
Yeah.
And it seems to be kind of keep getting better and better with the more material they make for it, which is like really exciting. So Dune Imperium number 5, it's been, I think, the most kind of stalwart game since it's come out in terms of capturing people's attention.
Yeah, it's just, especially if this genre, the kind of deck building worker placement, it's just, and the expansion stuff people really, really like. People love Dune Imperium. It's really good.
It's really fantastic. Go ahead, said number 5.
Indeed. Let's get number 4. Number 4 is also pretty much always here. This is Ark Nova.
It also captures people's attention, yes.
Be playing Ark. People played a lot of Ark Nova this month. A lot of people probably got it as gifts this month.
I would reckon they have.
Ark Nova we really like it a lot. It's number 4 number 4 overall. Ark Nova has been, again, talked about multiple times. It's been one of the most popular games in the last 5 years. I mean, it's just been absolutely bonkers. I mean, at this point, it came out
meteoric rise.
It came out over a year ago. It was in 2021 is when it came out, and it's still just right here. People still like it this much. Whenever they drop that expansion, the kind of aquatic creatures one, it's gonna explode all over again. You know, it's like Ark Nova is just, it's very popular. We both really like the game a lot. Yeah, and it's just good. We talk about it every month. You can probably move on because it's
great. Running a zoo has never been more fun than when you play Ark Nova, which is number 4.
Indeed, let's get number 3.
Number 3 is Aeon's Trespass Odyssey.
Yeah, so this hit people's, I think we talked about this last month. It's hitting people's hands as a Kickstarter. I think last month the people have been playing it a whole bunch. This is like a big co-op campaign game.
Yes.
Where like all like the old Olympic gods got like killed by this big cataclysm.
Yeah.
And all these like primordials are around and stuff like that. You're all these Argonauts and you're like the ones that can stop them essentially.
Yeah, you're basically trying to band together with your like kind of troop of people to like defeat I guess these new gods or whatever, like the new sheriffs in town. So it's this kind of big campaign game where you're kind of banding together using your resources and your might and everything to take down these ultimate baddies and things, and you can lose if you Argonaut dies or you lose all your people, get abandoned.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different. It's kind of like a good co-op. You can lose a billion different ways, but there's like 1 or 2 ways to win. This one is like, I think, depending on the whatever campaign you're playing.
Yeah, you might be like solving some sort of crisis that's being created by this, or you might be going up against like one of the primordials.
And that's pretty much how you win. But it's a big campaign game, co-op game. People seem to be really enjoying it because people just like are constantly looking up stuff, writing stuff in the forums. So it's been popping all over the hotness. Aeon's Trespass Odyssey, people seem to be really enjoying. So yeah, that's awesome. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2 is Frosthaven.
Yep.
It's out now. It's out there in the world. People are playing it. The embargo's been lifted so people can talk about it.
Everyone's playing this game right now.
Oh boy. I mean, this is no surprise, right? Gloomhaven, I don't want to say shocked the world or whatever, but like it came marching up and became the new #1 game of all time, which is always when that happens is like a moment in board games, right? If BoardGameGeek's #1 gets
doesn't happen very often. Yeah.
And Gloomhaven has never looked back, and Frosthaven seems to take everything that's great about Gloomhaven, all the stuff you loved, kind of not say fix the things that were less exciting, but added a bunch of things that are really kind of dynamic and cool. And of course, it's great because Gloomhaven's already great, and they took a great thing, made it greater, and streamlined stuff. So it's gonna be fantastic. And people, that's the overwhelming response I've heard from people. Is just saying that like it takes all this stuff and now it's even better somehow.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. If you already like Gloomhaven, I don't think it's gonna change your mind if you don't like Gloomhaven. But as you are like Gloomhaven, Frosthaven's gonna be great. We like Gloomhaven. We don't have Frosthaven just because we don't play through campaign games. We just don't have the time to. Mike's got a newborn and stuff. We just don't have time for it. But I'm really, really excited for people who are playing it. People seem to be really enjoying it. And I'm excited for Mudhaven, which I assume is coming next.
Mudhaven. Breezy Day Haven. You know, whatever it might be.
Light Rain Haven.
Light Rain, just all weather stuff.
Yeah, it's nice. All weather stuff. But nonetheless, Frosthaven's number 2. People really like it. You would think it'd be number 1, but it's not because number 1 has been just parked here.
Yeah.
Let's get to number 1.
Let's get into it.
People be loving Heat, Mike.
Heat, pedal to the metal. It's just like, whew. Not moving. It's bizarre. Not like bizarre in a weird, like, why this game?
Melts Frosthaven.
Oh, fire beats water.
Smarts.
Okay. So Heat is a racing game.
It's nice that Days of Wonder feels like they're back.
We always talked about that. It seems like Days of Wonder for a while, kind of like always, and not like they've gone away. There is this little thing called Ticket to Ride, right? But they had all these games, and then it kind of feels like it's been a lot of Ticket to Ride, and then now there's like this game that is like people are like clamoring for, very much ourselves included, for Heat, which is a racing game with cool Vincent Dutrait art. It's got to be simulating a Formula One race where you are kind of managing your hand of cards that are going to have values on them, which is determining how many spaces you're going to move. And depending on what gear you're in, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, that's how many cards you must play, and you must play that many cards, which is normally great because you're in a long straightaway, big open road in front of you. You want to play as many of your high value cards as possible. Yep. However, at the end of that straightaway is a hairpin turn.
Yeah.
And you can only go so fast through that turn without spinning out.
Yes.
And if you're still in 4th gear, you still must play 4 cards.
Yeah.
Now, some cards have 1s and 2s or even 0s on them, so you can play those cards out and have very low values because if the hairpin turn only allows you to go, 4 spaces worth speed through that turn, any excess you must pay heat from your engine and kind of managing your engine to kind of compensate for that overage.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, then you spin out. And of course, if you get all the heat out of your hand, you have to find a way to get heat back in your hand. That usually comes from shifting down, slowing down for a minute. It's just cool hand management. Like, how do you manage the cards so that you're ready to go when you hit those straightaways to just like hit the NOS and boost?
Yeah.
And how do you slow down in time for
there's
the
like
turns?
4 different maps too. And like the first one, the one they suggest you start with is like US. It's got definitely some curves over there, but there's other ones that have like really hairpin turns and stuff.
A bunch of them.
And then there's all these different modules you can play with. You can add like weather to the different turns. You can add make it like a campaign game. You can add like AI cards that work really, really well.
Yeah,
apparently.
I've heard great stuff about the AI.
So it's a little better at like 2 and 3 players and stuff like that. Although we were talking to someone, they're like, I play always with AI cards. Even if I'm playing a full 4-player game, I always play with AI cards.
So there's more stuff going on.
Yeah, and it's just people love Heat. We've got to play it at PAX Unplugged. We really liked it. Yeah, I mean, but it's just been parked at the top here. People are loving some Heat.
I know. It's like, there's not all that many racing games that come out.
Not
and
always,
like Formula One's really popular right now. Again, I think a piece of that's the Days of Wonder, the excitement about that, because Days of Wonder always has really top-notch productions. They're just really solid. This is very much included. And so it's just, well, it's like, good for them, man. Like, it's been a minute, and Heat has again earned its praise. It's really fun. We really want it. It's not quite available over here yet widely. So that'll probably be an early 2023 acquisition, hopefully by us.
Would love to get it. All right, so that's the top 10 hottest games of the month, been all over the hotness. And now we're going to talk about the 10 most played games.
Yes.
Now, in a general given month, there's about 800 to 900,000 logged plays of games on BGG, which is super cool.
So many games.
But this month in December, there's over 1 million, which means people are playing a lot.
Well, okay,
more
we've had
games.
some here in the States anyway. We've had a lot of harsh weather, so it's like even more so than normal winter and stuff. It's like it's a time to be inside places and staying home, playing some games.
So the 10th most played game was Seven Wonders Duel. It's usually here with 5,464 plays.
We got Terraforming Mars on 5,742 plays.
And then number 8 here is Exit the Game, the Advent Calendar Exit, which is super cool that this many people, 5,959 people, logged them playing this Advent Calendar.
I have it over there. I did not complete it, but my wife and I are working on it. It's really fun, so I'm not at all surprised to see that.
I'm super pumped that that's this high. That's great.
So cool. The Crew Mission Deep Sea, a mainstay on the top games played, is 6,240 plays.
We have Ark Nova with 6,893 plays.
We've got The Crew Question Planet 9, also a mainstay on this list at 7,418 plays.
We have Marvel Champions, again, always here, is 8,099. Now, it's interesting because Marvel Champions is usually like number 1 or number 2.
Yes.
But I think because of the holidays, I think a lot of people play Marvel Champions solo.
Yeah, there's not as much solo
It's probably
gaming
not as
time.
much solo gaming going on right now. Yeah.
It's really interesting. We got Azul out here, very much good for the family, at 8,842 plays.
Cascadia is here with 8,931 and number 1.
Wingspan with 11,431 plays.
2,500 more than number 2.
That's amazing.
People are playing some Wingspan.
People do be playing Wingspan. Again, there's new content for Wingspan just in time for the holidays.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people are getting gifted just the Asia expansion.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
nice, again, that it's a standalone game. There's a lot of
And
cool
number
stuff
11
there.
was Heat.
Yeah.
Was Heat. So
I
that's the
want
most
it so
played
bad.
games of the month. We're going to pop back up. We're going to go over some Murph picks, so let's get to it.
So my Murph pick is was entitled, as a blog post entitled, Custom Proposal Meeple. And she said yes, by Rodrigo Caruso. This is super duper cool. My friend made a custom Carcassonne tile that depicted a piece of a city, a bit of road, some green grass, but in the middle of that road, there was depicted a little person down on one knee proposing to another person. So this person proposed to their partner using this custom Carcassonne tile. They got the exact dimensions from Onsim Gluck, and they printed on and glued and adhered this very special Carcassonne tile that was made by a friend and stuff. So it like looks, at first glance, pretty much like it blends right in with the game, but then you look at the details, there is this way to propose using this tile. I thought that was super cool. I think that's super romantic. We have other friends that use Carcassonne to propose with. They didn't make a custom tile, but they hid a ring in the bag and started pulling out tiles and things like that. And so there's like weirdly like a lot of history of like Carcassonne fueling proposals. I think that's beautiful. Makes my heart happy. The art is really cute. You can see it right here and stuff. I was like, you know what? This is like so well executed. Of course, it's great that the story ends with a yes, and we're really happy. So that's my Murph pick. Just a little bit of romance in the air. I thought it was beautiful and like just shows that board games bring people together.
My Murph pick is the Reviewer's Best of 2020 Meta Compilation by Vitus979. This is a really cool compilation of essentially the best games of the year according to content creators. This user went through and grabbed a whole bunch of different content creators, including Mike and I, our top 10 games of the year list, and found all of their top 10 games of the year and essentially ranked the top 10 games based off how they were ranked on all these different content creators' lists. So the #1 game of the year was Wonderland's War, because more people rated that higher than any other game. And I thought it was a really cool way to kind of look at it. If you like board game content creation, if you watch any of these people, you're kind of like, hey, amongst content creators or amongst people who talk about board games a lot like us, what's the top 10 games of the year according to all of this compiled? And I think it's a really cool thing, and they've done this the last couple of years, so you can look at like last year and then 2020 and 2019 as well. It's a really cool thing, and I just love stuff like this, that people go through and compile these lists, and they just love data and they love numbers and stuff like that. And I just think it's a cool thing that people do sometimes. And yeah, I just think it's really, really wonderful. And I thought it was an interesting list too, because I was like, oh, I wonder where these games end up. And I'm like, wow, there's actually a lot of games on there that weren't on our list at all. So I'm like, okay, cool. So apparently people like these games way more than we did. So I thought it was really, really cool. So make sure to check out that geek list, because I think it's a really awesome thing. All right, so those are some Murph picks. At the very end of the video, we always talk about our personal favorite game of the month. Favorite game that we played. Mike, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so one, I was torn between Beer and Bread, which is also really good, but the game I chose was Decorum. So we played this earlier in the year when we first got the game.
Yep.
We did a couple of custom scenarios for the purposes of making videos and things like that. Yep. And then we actually dove into the 2-player campaign the other day, and it had been a while since we played. And I remember just how much I enjoyed Decorum. It's a game where you are trying to find a way to decorate a house in such a way that you and I are both going to be happy, but we have very specific conditions for how the house must be, and we aren't talking about it openly. So we're doing it by putting a lamp in and be like, maybe, and you're like, I hate that. I'm like, why do you not like me? It's just a really fun game to get into the role play of. But ultimately, really simple rules. You can add an element to the house, remove an element, swap one lamp for another type of lamp, or paint a room. That's it. So it's just really easy and fun. And it's a very satisfying puzzle to solve.
Yeah, it's really fun.
That's my pick.
I had also been like, man, I forgot how much I like this game.
It's really fun.
It's really good.
Yeah, Decorum is great.
My favorite game of the month was probably Lacrimosa. This is a game where you have killed William Shakespeare. No, you've killed Mozart. And so this is a game where Mozart is dead. I wonder what happened.
Via some reason.
For some reason. But nonetheless, you are Mozart's friend, which is why it's so surprising that you killed him. No, this joke is done. But nonetheless, you're Mozart's friend. You're basically trying to convince people that you influenced Mozart the most of any of his other friends, which are the other players. Yeah. So you're playing out these cards, these memory cards. These are you remembering stuff you did with Mozart. These are things where you can remember like different travels you went on to move around the board. You can get better cards and then swap out cards that you have. So something that's nice about the game is your deck of cards never gets any bigger. You always have the same amount. You're just getting stronger and stronger. You can have opuses that you got from Mozart, which are different songs and music, and you can put on performances of those or sell those. You can also pay to have different composers finish Mozart's last Requiem, which is a huge part of the game. It's really, really fun. This game is just smooth. It just works well. It's kind of like medium heavyweight Euro game that is just smooth like butter. It just works so well. We were very, very excited to play it. Finally got a chance to play it, and I was like, wow, I really, really, really liked that. Cannot wait to play it more. I really like Lacrimosa. It's my favorite of the month.
Very nice. Let us know in the comments, folks, what your favorite games of the month, or even, I guess, since we're in a new year, what were your favorite games of the year in 2022?
Oh, yeah. Good call.
We'd love to hear all of those in the comments below. We wish you a very happy new year, everybody. Let's keep on geeking into the new year.
Boom.
Proud and loud, and play some board games, yeah?
Indeed. All right, until next time, we'll see you later, everybody.
All right, bye.